Hello back on the Silk Road. Today from the beach side at Batumi in Georgia. The last days we traveled all along the Black Sea coast over the towns or cities of Samsun and Trabzon. And yeah, today we crossed the border from Turkey to Georgia. And Sebastian will tell you a bit about the history of Batumi now.
Not a lot about the history of Batumi, but at least a little bit. Batumi is said to be it's one of Georgia's most, let's say, west southern cities, a port city, a very important port city, and a very touristic place. So a lot of people from all over the world come, especially from neighboring countries of Georgia. And it is also a place which is very important in types of Georgian national identity, in types of referring their country back to antiquity. It is the place where, according to the old mythology of ancient Greece, the myth of Medea took place, where Jason, the head, the boss, let's say, of the Argonauts, went in search on the quest for the Golden Fleece, this very famous mythological narrative. And Medea was like a Bavarian princess of this area, in former times called Colchis, and this is where the national, let's say, narrative is based on, this area. You can find also a very high and very big statue of Medea in the middle of the city, and this city was also really important in terms of logistics and infrastructure in, of course, much more recent times, and Sebastian will tell you more about it now.
Yeah, the first hours in Georgia, we had a meeting at the board in Batumi, and we had a short presentation, and then we became a good view from a terrace over the port area. And yeah, the port was established at the end of the 19th century of the family Rothschild. They started to trade with oil in this area and at this port. And yeah, so oil was from the first days on a really important factor in this area. So oil from the Caspian Sea region. And yeah, and in the last decades, the concurrence of the Russian ports and the Russian oil became higher and higher. So trading with oil is not that important anymore, and with new facilities, the port of Batumi tries to strengthen its position, and they want to start and grow the trading with dry cargo, especially mineral fertilizers from the Central Asian region. And yeah, the dry cargo from Batumi should spread all over Europe, over the Black Sea, and also by railroad over Turkey and so on. So as you see, oil is, let's say, is trading with oil becomes more and more difficult. So ports like Batumi try to strengthen its position with other cargo types.
Interestingly, the reason for this, let's say, decrease in oil trading, as we hear, the figures were, in 2013, I think, was about 12 million tons, but it really decreased to 1.5, about that. It was due to the conflict on Crimea, with the Russian annexation of Crimea from Ukraine. And this conflict is not only a problem for Ukraine and for Russia, an issue. Its impact is really on the entire Black Sea area. As we hear, this oil, let's say this decrease in oil export, well not export, but let's say trade in this area of the port is due to the concurrence, due to the rivalry of the new port facilities in Russia, the port called Novorossiysk, which is now like the gateway for Caspian oil towards Europe, and also a very important crossroads for pipelines towards Europe and Turkey. And it doesn't only impact energy, but also tourism, because due to the Crimea crisis, let's say, a lot of cruise ships do not come to the Black Sea again, because Crimea was one of the most important stops for cruise ships, and now they cannot stop there. And so cruise liner ships do not come to the Black Sea in this multitude. There are not that many ships anymore, and this also affects touristic spots like Batumi, and so also the tourism of cruise lining ships has decreased in this regard. And we will explore Georgia and how its role on the Silk Road, because when you look on a map, it's a really important crossroads between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea and vice versa. And we will explore and discover this situation of the country, this geographical position of the country, and the implications for Georgia in the next weeks and of the entire Southern Caucasus countries. And see you on the road again in the next days. We are back.
Bye.